Today I'm going to do my meal prep. I have to be back to work on Monday, officially back in the office after 2 years. So I'm going to meal prep to make life a lot easier, not for me, but also for my mom, who will be helping me out on the days that I'm actually in the office. So I have a whole list of things I wanted to do, and so this is what the list is. So we are going to prep shepherd's pie, my ranch chicken, rice, Thai chicken, roasted chicken with honey lemon sauce, Italian sausage rigatoni, dehydrated apples, honey bourbon chicken, and chicken veggie casserole. So those are what we're going to also do. I am going to do on a different video my apple cinnamon oatmeal, because that is requested, so I'm going to do that in its own separate video. But so today might be a long video, but it's just a lot of meal prepping and getting everything in the freezer and ready and labeled for the next 2 weeks. So hopefully this will last us the next 2 weeks for dinners. So I'm just going to clean up behind me and get everything situated and set up, and I'll be back. So this is all the meat I have laid out right here. Some of it, like this, is still frozen, so I'm gonna work on that last. So this is all the meat we got at the store the other day. It's not all of it, it's most of it. And this is what we're gonna try and process today. Alright guys, so this is my new cut board that my husband just bought me, so I am going to use this. It's nice and big. And things that I need is my scrap container. So I do composting, so anything I can compost will go in here. Anything that is trash will go in my empty trash can right here. Then I need some metal cans for certain, the ones that I have to bake, so that way it makes it 10 times easier for my mom. She can just take it out and pop it in the oven as is. And then some of them, then I'll actually do the cling wrap and aluminum foil to cover them so they don't get freezer burnt. And then some people like to use these freezer bags right here. I have the gallon and the quart. I actually don't use these anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore. I use the the vacuum seal to do my meal prepping, and then I'll just label what it is. These will be the ones that go in the Instapot for like a dump meal. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start my Instapot up. I am going to make mashed potatoes for my shepherd's pie, and it is so much easier doing it in your Instapot. So I'm going to put my rack in. And then I forgot to grab potatoes at the store, so this is all I have, so this is what I'm going to dump and use. So anything that calls for potatoes today, I'll just have to label that I need, it needs potatoes to be added. And these are starting to sprout a little bit, so definitely need to use these up. Alright, it's completely full. And then I put in a cup of water. Make sure it's enough. I'm gonna add a little bit more. I don't want anything to burn. Usually I put them on for like 20 minutes. I am going to actually put it on for about 30 minutes today because it's completely full with potatoes. So I just put it on manual and I move it to 30. And then I put it aside and let it do its thing. Oh, and it's on sealing, you guys, as well. The other thing I'm going to make in the Instapot today as part of the prep process is my mom hates to make rice, so some of these recipes will call for rice. So I'm going to pre-cook the rice and put it in my vacuum seal bags, label them and stick them in the freezer. So all we have to do is take it out, put it in a frying pan, add a couple of tablespoons of water, and let it steam in there, and it's just like fresh rice. So we're going to do that as well. A lot of these recipes are new recipes that we are willing to try. My family is very picky. My parents are not. So we try to find that happy medium balance. So we try new things every now and then. So if we like it, we keep it in our cycle of foods that we like to eat. And then if we don't like it, we eat it, but we'll never make it again. So that's how we do it in this house. And so I am going to start off with prepping the chicken. I'm going to cut up the chicken and get that going. Guys, so I'm actually not going to start on the chicken. I'm going to prep all the onions and peppers, all the things that I need to chop up. I think I'm going to chop up and have ready for me. Don't mind him right there. He is like my child, and anytime I'm working in the kitchen, he likes to be in the little backpack. He'll let me know when he's done being up here, but I was sitting down looking at the recipes and all I've been doing was crying. Juan might need to hold him, so now that I'm doing this, he's there. Say hi, Edward. Hi. So he loves it. For some reason, this dog is crazy and loves it. Sometimes I'll put him in the front, but not when I'm working, especially with food. So, anyways, I'm going to put on my apron, and we're going to get to work. This is my Christmas apron my mama bought me. Alright. We need onion peppers. Oh, and by the way, I normally do not have my dining room table set up like this. I just did it strictly for the video. Alright. So from what I see, we need at least 3 chopped up peppers. So, there we go. There's that. And quite a few onions. So I'm just going to chop up all these. Now with my onion tops, I actually, with my onion, celery, and carrot scraps, I actually put them in big freezer bags and stick them in the freezer. So when I make stock, I just shove all this stuff in there and it gives it all that good flavor. And nothing goes to waste. But today, I'm just going to put it all in my compost because I have more than enough scrap in there. So I don't want to cry right away, so I'm just going to start with the peppers. Some of these recipes actually call for sliced peppers and sliced onions. However, my husband and my child, they won't eat it if they see it. Well, this pepper has a bad spot, so I'll have to cut that out. Needs to be sharpened. Watch out. In your kitchen, you guys can do whatever you want with your peppers. You can slice them, you can dice them, you can put them in your food processor, however you want to do it. And the same thing with the onions. Tossing them in my clean sink so I can wash them. I don't like crying when I do onions. And I find if you wash them before you start cutting them, you won't cry as much. These are just regular yellow onions. I cry a lot with the yellow onions, unlike the sweet onions that I love to use. But I got the regular yellow this time. Are you ready to get down? Are you ready? Well, you gotta give me a second. onions and peppers all diced up. Clean my cutting board one more time, and we'll go on to the next thing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep pork chops. Now I'm making a stir fry with this. So all I'm going to do is wash it first, and then we're going to just dice it up. And these are boneless, thick, kind of thick pork chops. Some people wash their meat, some people don't. I'm a meat washer. Do whatever makes you feel better. I am just going to cut off a little bit of the fat. Not much, because the fat gives it some good flavor. But just on those that look like there's just a lot too much. And it's crazy because my family is fat eaters. I, however, am not. I do not like to eat any fat on chicken, any kind of meat. And even Johanna, she loves the skin of a chicken, and I do not. Actually, everybody likes the skin of the chicken but me. So I donate my skins when they're nice and crispy to usually Johanna, because she'll ask for it first. But if not her, then my mom. Very rare do I give it to Josh, because he doesn't get it. Alright. So I'm just going to dice these up. What I'm going to do because it's very slippery. No rhyme or reason the way you chop it up. Or whatever, however you want to do it. I'm doing it in cubes. Whatever thickness I decide. I mean, I'm not doing it particularly a specific size, but these are becoming about 1 inch cubes. So, if you're wondering. And for all my recipes, you guys, I will put it in the description below. So that way, if you want to try these, and if you try them, let me know. Because I'll be very curious to see how many people try it and if you like it. So this one I'm making right now, it's a pork chop stir fry. This is just something I toss together that we don't eat a lot, but my family does enjoy it. And I usually don't use like nice pork chops like this for this stir fry, but this was cheaper at the store. So with meat prices the way they are right now because of COVID, you gotta do what you gotta do. And usually I'll use like the cheaper pieces of meat, like the pork chops that just don't look the best, that have the bone in them, look kind of rough. But those were more money this time for some reason. I think it's because they were really, really thick, but that's alright. These will be just fine. Now with these, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put them in a freezer dry bag, all ready to go. I'll put some spices on them before I put it in. And then I just have regular freezer bags of stir-fry vegetables that right after I saute these, when I'm ready to cook it, I'll saute this in some butter or some oil, and then I will add the frozen vegetables in, cook it with some soy sauce, and serve with rice. So that's how I usually do this. So this is going to go into one of my bags. Let me just, you know what, I'm going to actually put it in the pan first. Let me just cut up all the meat first. That's what I planned on doing anyways. So. Do that. Now, I'm going to rinse this off and I'm going to do my chicken. I'm just going to clean up my chicken. Some of it I'm going to dice because one of the recipes do call for diced chicken. There's just pork on it, so I'm not worried about cross-contaminating anything. The chicken, however, that's why I saved it for last. I do worry about that. So, we're just going to clean up the chicken. I gotta say, I've never meal prepped with my dining room table in the middle of the kitchen before. Actually, to be honest, I have not meal prepped in this house. This is my first time meal prepping in this house. I had a very, very tiny kitchen. It was a galley kitchen in the cottage that we rented, and that I did it in that little kitchen. So this is actually nice to have all this room and to prep this way, everything at once. So I would do one recipe at a time, and it would literally take me days, you guys. Take me days to meal prep all the meals for. Usually I like to do for a month, but I'm just doing it for 2 weeks because the cost of everything is just so expensive. I'm going to actually wash my chicken. Let me move my trash bag over here. That way I can rinse it. I'm going to toss it in here. There we go. All right. So I believe I only need about 2 pounds, or enough for my family, for one recipe to be diced up. So what I do is I just take off all this nasty fat. With chicken, I don't save it for my compost because it makes it really foul. The pork doesn't for some reason, but the chicken does. So everybody's different. Everybody has their own way of doing things. I just toss it. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually save this. I'm not doing it this time, but I will actually save the scraps, like the fat, and I will also add it into my stock as well, because everything gets eaten out. Sometimes I just cut it and leave a little bit of the chicken out, and the fat is where all the flavor is at. So and I try my best to clean as I go. It does not always go that way, to be honest, but I try my best. So I'm actually not going to use that bowl. I'm actually just going to reuse this bowl. This bowl is just a strainer I have with all the juice. I'm actually going to dump this out. There you go. And when I washed it, all the diced chicken is going to go in here. Again, it was not very specific on how this chicken should be diced. So I'm just going to dice it in like bite-sized pieces, and that's that. Now, I might not follow all these recipes per the instructions. I might have to alter them a little bit to satisfy my family needs. So obviously, if your family doesn't like something, omit it, or if they like something that's in there, you can always add more. This is your meal. This is what you choose to do. You do not always have to follow a recipe. You can use your recipe as your guide. Sometimes I'll make a recipe to the T, and then I'll like it, but I just feel like it was missing something. So when I make it again, I'll add my own flair to it, and sometimes they come out better than the recipe. So everybody's taste buds are different. Alright, guys, so I just cleaned everything up. I have everything set up on the table. I just went through the couple recipes that are going to be quick throw together recipes and then stick in the freezer. So we'll need 2 pans. This is all stuff that is going to be raw and in here and ready to go in the oven. Then I have 2 bags. That is stuff. Actually, one is for something that I have to actually cook, so I'm going to put that over there. But this one is for one of the freezer meals. I do get the roll, and I will just cut a piece, and I will just seal the bottom with my vacuum sealer. This vacuum sealer is kind of old and one of the cheaper versions out there. So you don't need, I think I paid maybe 20 bucks on Amazon for that. And it came with some rolls. I did buy the rolls. The rolls are so inexpensive, you guys. I got quite a few rolls for under 20 bucks. And I've had them, I've been using them, but I've had them for a year. So depends. Like these, I get these at BJ's. Or in your area, it could be Sam's Club or Costco's. I don't know what they have in. I know I have a couple of Canadian viewers. I don't know what they have over there. Any of your big bulk stores that you buy in bulk, that's where I get those, and I get them in a big bulk. And I actually bought these a couple months ago, and this is what I have left, so you can tell I do use them. And when I'm being lazy and don't want to do dishes, it's good to have these on hand so I can just pop this in the oven and toss it out. So I just sealed it. So now we're going to go on to make the first one, which is the Thai chicken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get everything together and I will be back. Alright guys, so I got everything I need here for the Thai chicken. This is a new recipe for us. So I did go ahead and I wrote what it is, when it was made. I put the instructions on it right here, and then I realized I did not have cumin. I must have ran out. I do use cumin a lot. So I did add 1 teaspoon of cumin, so that way I know when I go to the store, I'm going to actually put it on my add list of what I need. And when this gets cooked in, whoever does it knows they need to add 1 teaspoon of cumin. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to open the bag, and I like to fold it over, so that way the outer part that gets sealed does not get nasty. So I will actually put it down right back. So I'm going to put this in the back and that way it can sit and rest. And then I'm going to add the chicken. So it says 2 pounds of chicken, so I'm going to put enough chicken in there for my family. Because I know once it's shredded, it's going to be a lot. So I'm going to probably put in, I don't know, it says 2 pounds, but I'm just going to wing it, you guys. So I'm going to put in 4 chicken breasts. Feels about 2 pounds, so that'll be fine. Then I need to add in 1 small onion. So when they say 1 small onion, it's usually about a cup. So I'm just going to measure a cup. Right there. And then it says 1 large green pepper. So I'm going to actually put most of this pepper in here. Put like half of it actually. My husband doesn't mind peppers, but my kid, not so much. She's not a big fan. Put actually a little bit more. There we go. And then it says add 13.5 ounces can of unsweetened coconut milk. However, I do not have unsweetened, and I was not going to buy unsweetened. I'm going to use what I have on hand, which is just a regular can of coconut milk. So I'm just going to stick this in. What the heck is going on? There we go. This is just one of those dump and go meals, you guys. The best kind of meals to have. And I'm really trying to make it so much easier for my mom for when I have to go into the office. Because for those of you that don't know, I don't watch my other channel, I do work about, well, now from the new house, it's a little over an hour drive. And so coming home at 5 o'clock, the traffic is quite ridiculous. So I should actually shake that can before I did it, but that's all right. It's going to be all mixed together anyways. So I won't get home until well after 6 o'clock at night. And Johanna goes to bed at 8. So to help me out, she'll have dinner ready at 5 o'clock. So my husband and everybody will eat, and then I'll just eat when I come home. And because of COVID, we are now only going into the office 2 days a week, so which is very helpful. A lot of reasons for I can be home more. I don't have to put wear and tear on my car. The gas prices. Oh my God, gas prices are ridiculous right now. All right. Anyways, so the cumin, we're gonna skip that because I'll have to add that in later. It called for basil, but apparently I don't have any basil, so I'm going to just use Italian seasoning. And it calls for 1 teaspoon of that. So we're just gonna get all the Italian flavors in there. Who cares? Probably oregano, parsley, basil. There we go. See what I say when I say we just kind of don't really follow a recipe. All right, I know I'm gonna use that for another recipe, so I'm gonna leave that out. And salt. All right, with my salt, you guys, I do use canning salt. I'm a canner, and it just makes more sense to use canning salt for any of my food, just in case I have so much and I decide to can it. If it's something I can can, and I don't have to worry about the iodized salt, because if it's iodized, I cannot can it. So I always, since I started canning, I use my canning salt. Some people use Himalayan salt to can. That's fine. I just choose to use the actual canning salt. That might change in the future, but we'll see. So it says 1 teaspoon of salt. Put that in there. Obviously, I get my salt in bulk, so I put it in a mason jar. And then 1 teaspoon of ginger. I am not a big fan of ginger at all. So I had to go buy this specifically for this recipe. Because I know Thai cuisines have a lot of ginger. And ginger is really good for you. So I'm just going to have to suck it up and hope I don't taste a lot of ginger. So this is another tablespoon. Oh, it's not tablespoon, teaspoon. All right, there we go. So obviously I just bought a little thing of ground ginger, because I don't use it that much. And then it says the juice and zest of 2 limes. So I have the limes right here. Let me get out my little cutting board. There's my 2 limes. Let me get mine. I don't have a microplane, so I will just use my different size thing here. So to get a good zest, you guys, if you rub it against your table and just kind of to get those juices released, you'll get way more juice. I don't have a handy dandy juicer, so it's just going to be very old school, you guys. But if you have a juicer, absolutely use the juicer. If you have a microplane, go ahead, if that's the right terminology for it, you can go ahead and use that too. So now I'm just going to cut it in half. These knives need to be sharpened. Actually, this knife sucks. Alright, there's that. I should actually zest it first. I'm like, so you guys, when you zest a lemon, just so you know, when you get to that white part, don't keep zesting, because that's just going to be bitter. My family is not a huge lime people, so we're more like lemon. So I'm only gonna zest this one and just use the juices. So and I just have to kind of scrape it in there but it smells amazing. And then I am going to squeeze it with the flesh up so that way if there's any seeds, it does not go into the food. This one's actually pretty juicy. But it says 2, so we will use 2. Plus I only did half the zest it called for, so. This is exactly what I mean when I say do what you feel best for your family and any new recipes that you try. You gotta think too, this stuff is going in the freezer, so while it sits and marinates, it's gonna the flavors are gonna be even more intense. I am going to compost the lemons, so I'm gonna put them in my. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I was gonna put it in water to make lime water, but there we go. Let's do that. So, and then that is it. So I'm gonna rinse myself off, and then we will seal that up. So clearly I used too big of a bag. I always do this, but I'd rather have too big than too small, because I've done too small before too. So where is my scissors? I am going to cut it down. Oh, right here. I'm going to actually cut off the part where it says cumin and just rewrite that on there. I hope I didn't just mess with this whole bag. Scissors stink. Alright, so now I'm just gonna, oh, I kind of did. Probably cut off too much. I can't. I try not to waste, and I waste anyways. So you gotta be careful, because with this, you don't want it to be too, come all out when it comes to liquid. So there is a soft, wet button on here, so that's what I'm gonna press. Some of the juices will come out. It's not gonna have the tightest seal, but we are using this within the week, so I'm not too worried about it. In hindsight, I could have really put it in just a Ziploc bag, freezer Ziploc bag, since we are using it this week. But it's just a habit. Alright, so I messed up, you guys, too. So I'll just have to add it on the bag. I forgot to add the crushed pepper flakes, which it's supposed to be 1 teaspoon of those. So I'll have to add this as well to this. So add 1 teaspoon of cumin and crushed pepper flakes. This is not the marker I usually use. I usually use a Sharpie. This is all I could find. So that will just do. So you can still see it says slow cook. You can still pretty much see what it says, but you can just mix this up to get all the seasonings in there. And I can make it a mess because I didn't wipe it. When you have liquid, you guys, you always need to wipe the excess that is above the seal. So it won't make a mess, like it just did. Alright, so I just massage everything in once everything is sealed to incorporate all those flavors. And then it's ready to go in the freezer. And I put all my stuff in the deep freezer, and then I'll bring it up in this freezer when I'm going to cook it within a couple of days. So I'm going to go ahead and put this over there, so that way it'll be ready to go down. And now, let me clean up my mess. Alright guys, so I decided to make this video in parts because this is already a long video and I don't want you to sit here for 2 hours watching me prep everything. So this video, I actually ended up finding the cumin in here. So I just cut open the bag and put it in one of these bags because I decided this is going to be dinner for tomorrow night. So I put the cumin and the crushed brown pepper in it. So now it makes it way easier for my mom tomorrow. So there's that. And then I just went ahead and I put the pork in this bag with some garlic from... Where did we get it from?
Tastefully Simple.
Tastefully Simple. And actually, I'm an idiot because it says it right on the bottle. It says garlic. My mom's sitting right here, by the way. And then I'm just putting instructions on what she needs to do after she cooks this up. And obviously, if she feels like it needs more seasoning, she can add the seasonings to it. And then she just puts the frozen vegetable in here with some soy sauce. And then she serves it with rice. I also put onion powder in there as well with some pepper. So that's another meal. And so right now I'm going to make what I know my family likes because I know they like the pork pie, the pork stir fry. And they also like my ranch chicken. So I put some chicken in here. And then I'm going to just put my ranch seasoning. And babe, if you're watching this video, just fast forward so you don't see what's in this. You put a block of cream cheese in it. My husband doesn't like cream cheese or sour cream, but little does he know a lot of the stuff I make have it. Sorry. So we are just gonna put the block of cream cheese in here. Oh, I'm actually missing something, but I know I have it in the cabinet, so I'll tell you what else goes in here. Oh, this one's a struggle. Jesus. Alright. So you just put the block completely whole in there. I mean, if you want to, you can chop it up, but whatever makes you feel better. I don't have the time or really care. Because once it cooks, it's going to be soft, and you mix it in anyways when you shred the chicken. So you're not going to really pay attention. So you put the block of cream cheese in there, as well as a can of cream of chicken, which gives it a super, super creamy texture. And so we've had this both ways, and the way my daughter likes it best is with pasta. We've also served it with rice. So toss that, and then whatever you want for your ranch. I do tend to put a lot in it. Some people just use the packet, but can't go wrong. So that was probably like maybe a cup of ranch seasoning. And then that's it. And then you just, I don't put no salt, no pepper, or anything in here. And I just seal it up, and I'll mix it up. And actually, I gotta trim this up. And this is another Instant Pot meal. I wrote on here to make it easier for my mom, just in case she's the one that cooks it, that goes in the Instant Pot on manual.
There's a manual button right here, and you just coordinate those buttons to make it 30, and then you just let it do its thing. And then you shred up the chicken with 2 forks. And you serve it with pasta or rice. So whatever you feel like doing, Mom. Rice will be already cooked, so you don't have to cook the pasta. And then just gonna mix it up. The only thing with this that I don't care for is it's hard to get every bit of it out because it kind of sticks. So you have to really get in there and clean it out with your hands. But it's a little messy. But it's so good and worth it. But it looks disgusting. If you're looking at it, it looks gross. But so those are the 3 meals that I'm doing on this video. So let me show you guys what we have. So there they are. We have the ranch chicken, and you can see I wrote on it. And then we have the Thai chicken, which is tomorrow's dinner. And we have the pork stir fry. It's so simple. So those are the 3 meals. So you guys, until next time, I'm gonna add a playlist for this cook-off here for all the meal prepping that I did. Have a great day.